Now, I want to talk about this because this rule needs to be changed because this is the dumbest rule ever. And what it's doing is it's skewing album sales and numbers. And what's going to happen is in the future, 20, 30 years from now, they're going to look at certain album sales and say, wow, this artist did this so quickly that it beat everybody out. And there's so much. Just let me get into this. So it has to do with Cardi B. Her new album, I Drama, came out. And it immediately went platinum. Like the second it released, the second it came out, it was platinum. Now, what does that say to you, right? If we're looking at the old school way of album sales, that means that this album sold 1 million copies immediately, right? That's the way you would look at it, right? You would be like, okay, immediately platinum. Within a day, it sold 1 million copies. There's no album on earth that's ever done that, at least that I remember of. I know Adele did 3.3 million in a week. So could there have been a day that she did 1 million, maybe on the first day release? Potentially. But 1 million immediately after release, why did this happen? So let's go over the article. As announced by the Recording Industry Association of America, which is RIAA, on Twitter, they already certified the LPS Platinum, meaning that it already sold over 1 million album equivalent units in the United States. The reason why this is even possible is because of WAP, which is 9 times platinum, and UP, which is 5 times platinum, both being on the final track list of the album. Now, let's see when WAP came out. I just genuinely curious when the song came out. This is hilarious. I'm about to start choking. This song came out on August 7, 2020, literally 5 years ago. Let's go to Up. This song Up came out February 5th, 2021. We're talking about a 4 and 5 year old songs on her 2025 album. How is this? And that's why it's platinum already. How is this something allowed? Why is this not a rule that you can't do this? Is this this is insane? Might as well 50, just literally what 50 should do so his album doesn't flop sales wise. Because I think why 50's not releasing an album is because he's kind of scared of the sales. What 50 should do, take I'm the Man, take We Up, take Major Distribution, take any record that did numbers from that he hasn't added on an album, just put it on his new album. I guarantee you it'll be platinum in a day. Successful album. If that's the case, if that's what you can do, which is basically what she did, she just took really old songs that did well in sales and fucking put them on an album, which is the dumbest. Like, how is that not a rule that you can't do that? How is that not in place? That's so stupid. Because what's going to happen is a lot of artists are going to start doing this. They're going to drop singles. You know what? Tyga is very successful in dropping singles. What Tyga should just do the past, 7, 8 years, he's had songs that went diamond. He should just take all those songs, put them on one album, and release it out as an album. I bet you it'll be triple platinum in a day. The second I release, it'll be triple platinum, 3 million album equivalents sold. If that's the case, this is ridiculous. This is such a dumb. How is this rule not X'd out? Like, how is this not allowed? And this is why I say, this is why there needs to be a separation between artists who actually sold albums versus artists that stream. I get it. Streaming is the new thing. It has to be part of the system. It just is what it is. But there needs to be limitations and rules. You can't just add fucking 4 and 5 year old songs. I think the rule should be if the song is older than a year, it can't be on the album. It just can't. Because think about it. Back in the day, you can look at this too. You can look at the data. Artists would release a single probably a month before they released their album. So they would have one single, maybe 2 singles to promote the album, and then the album would come out. All within 2 to 3 months. So giving people a year gives them a great amount of time. I think a year that's fair. Okay, you dropped a song, let's just say this album came out, September 2025. You dropped a song December 2024, and you decide to add it on the album. I think that's fair. A year is a good time frame. Not too old, not too new. But 4 to 5 years ago, during COVID, 2020, this is the song that's added on this album. And what that tells me is Cardi B's not confident in herself to produce more hits. That's not a shot at her, but that's what it clearly shows. Why? It just makes no sense, man. And it's not fair. It's not fair to the artists who actually put in the work, who actually sell albums. You know, back in the day, man, artists were making people go in the snow and drive and go pick up an album. Now it's just you have it easier than ever to do numbers, and you still find a way to cheat the system. So RIAA needs to change this rule immediately. It's a dumb rule. The oldest a song can be is 1 year. That's it, 365 days. If it's older than that, it can't be added on an album. You add it, the streams are not added on there. It's just that simple. Because that is ridiculous. I was just dumbfounded at this. Continuing on, though, the actual sales of the album, since it's a release, it's projecting to do 125 to 150,000 album equivalent units sold in its first week. So that's good numbers. That's really good numbers for Cardi B. But I don't know. Is that because she's added these old songs and people are still streaming them, so that adds numbers to that? Or is it because people are actually listening to this album? I don't know. I don't really listen to Cardi B like that. I really don't listen to female rappers in general like that. There is some that I like here and there. There's some tracks that I like from Cardi B here and there. There's some I like from Nicki. There's some I like from Missy Elliott's probably one of my favorites out of there. There's like a couple of artists I listen to here and there. But regardless, like, I don't know if the album is good or not. I have no idea. To add that old of songs, to add that old of songs to an album shows that you're not really confident in your music, that you're worried that your album might flop. You know, at this point, 50 should see this. Like, this should be an opening for 50. Because 50, I think, is somebody who is scared about if he were to release new music, how would it perform? Because he's always been about sales. So 50 should see this and add I'm the Man on there. It's a double platinum single. I think about to be triple platinum. Add that. That's a 2016 song. Add it on there. Who cares? Add, what's the other record they did that went well? My Life with Eminem and Adam Levine. That's gold. Add, I don't know what other records he had from that time frame that actually did some sales, but add those records on there. It'll help you. Who knows? Your album might be platinum the second it comes out. Very stupid, very dumb rule. I think any artist who does this is very insecure in their music and sales and wants to just try to look good. But other than that, this rule is stupid. It needs to be changed immediately. Dumbest. I don't know what the hell they're thinking over there. This is the problem with this streaming stuff is as the years went on, rules have been adjusted and changed. And some people have broken these records with those old rules. And then it's like history, though, as 30 years from now, we won't know the details of that. We will just see the sales and be like, wow, this person did this at this time. But we won't know that, hey, this is the rule, like album packaging with clothing. Like the bundles rule. That was a rule back then. So that's the problem. As these years go on, we won't know these details of these rule changes. We'll just see the sales and we'll assume this artist did amazing in sales when really they cheated their way to the sales. Same shit with Jay-Z and Samsung. Jay-Z struggled, could never sell 1 million copies first week. What does he do? He gets Samsung to purchase 1 million copies and, oh, album's platinum. No, it's a bullshit 1 million sales. If you can't get 1 million people to go and purchase your album the first week, you didn't do it. It's just that simple. That simple. Drake kind of falls. The views did 1 million in a week. Drake kind of falls. I give Drake that 1 million because it was right when streaming was added to sales, and physically he did 800 and something thousand copies. So yeah, did he have a little help from streaming to do 1 million first week? But he still did 800 and I think it was like 40,000 copies the first week of physical CD sales at the time. So I still give him that, right? It was 85% physical CD sales and like 15% streaming that was added on there. That's 1 million copies. That's you could say, hey, that's 1 million copies. Now, other artists, obviously, before the streaming did actual 1 million copies. Adele, Eminem, 50, Lil Wayne, Usher, whoever you can think of, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, whatever. They've done Taylor Swift. They've done real 1 million copies first week, real or 2-3 million first week, whatever numbers that they did. But those are the people that actually did those sales because they had people go out, buy their CD, and it was like, as legit as possible. But yeah, this is the dumbest rule ever. I just wanted to talk about this because this is exactly why there needs to be a distinction between streaming and album sales, like actual physical. The artists that did physical stuff, I respect way more than streaming, but I get it. Streaming has to be implemented. That's the new era that we're in. People just aren't buying CDs anymore. And what are you going to do about that? It is what it is. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe RIAA will actually have some common sense and we'll change these rules moving forward.